Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Welcome back, everyone. It is our tradition to introduce ourselves in the room, and then I see at least 3 new people here. Can you raise your hand and say your name?
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Mahogany.
And we have our skeleton friend here. Comes out every year. To join us. My name is Jeff.
I'm Brad.
Tim.
My name is Stephen.
Jim.
My name is Henry.
Risha. Ron.
Jack.
I'm Richard.
Thank you. So I'm very excited about today's speakers. We have a shared lineage in working with Richard Heckler and the Strozzi Institute and Generative Somatics, which is a very powerful tradition, and hopefully you'll get to appreciate some today. Our teacher is Anjali Sawhney. She, her, is a certified integral life coach from New Ventures in San Francisco since 2006, and a trained international Leadership Embodiment Teacher, somatic coaching based on Aikido and Mindfulness, with founder Wendy Palmer since 2011. She has coached and led somatics and mindfulness workshops in the movement, nonprofit, corporate, and educational sectors, including at the EBMC, Eastern Meditation Center, where she's part of the Leadership Sangha Board, and at the Richmond Community Foundation, California, and California Endowment, Dream Corps, and UCSF. She's also on the facilitation teaching team at the Strozzi Institute in Generative Somatics and Beloved Communities. She serves directly with untapped BIPOC and LGBTQI youth, students unhoused, and those in recovery by providing coaching, counseling, and series workshops. She was born in Asia, raised in LA, and has lived on the East Coast and South and East Asia. She's passionate about rallying untapped folks through coaching, community, and spirituality, as well as street protests for equity and systemic change. And she loves music, which she gets to enjoy with her 2 kids when they let her. So, welcome.
Thank you. Wow, that was long.
Yeah.
Next time I'll tell Jeff or Rod to keep it short. I want to start just to transition with one of my favorite poems by Hafiz. We should talk about this problem. There is a beautiful creature living in a hole you have dug. So at night, I set fruits and grains and little pots of wine and milk beside you in soft earthen mounds. And then I often sing, but still, my dear, you do not come out. I have fallen in love with someone who hides inside of you. We should talk about this problem. Otherwise, I will never leave you alone. So I start with that today because I love that poem. But also I'm not going to talk very much. It's going to be very interactive to the degree that you want it to be. And we'll have different variations to what's comfortable for your body and your being today. But I will talk for a few minutes about embodied relaxation, somatic practice, spaciousness within us, so all of us can come out And all of us coming out could be very quiet, or it could be very loud. And it could be different in different circumstances. But that, in a way, we're coming home to ourselves. Today is, in India, it's Diwali, which is a festival of lights. And tomorrow it'll be here, the official day. Lots of celebration, lots of lighting of candles and prayers. But what I want to say, in essence, to me, Diwali is about coming home to ourselves. And for me, my embodiment practice, which I want to share with all of you, a little piece today, has me coming home to myself. And as Jeff said, Barat said, my two teachers in this have been Wendy Palmer and Richard Strozzi Heckler. So when I say the word embodied relaxation, just notice what comes up for you. Maybe there's a sensation, or maybe there's an image of something, or maybe there's just a blank. And that's also interesting. Maybe we're not feeling anything. Who comes to mind? Someone who's embodied, who embodies relaxation. And I'd be open if anybody wants to share, either online or here. Is there any person or thing that comes to you when you hear the words embodied relaxation?
I think of Alan Watts.
Thank you. Yeah, that was in the vibe, right? We're in the vibe. Both people said that. This one, yeah? Beautiful. And just as people are sharing, you can start to notice, what does that evoke in you? We can all see the Buddha-ji here. It doesn't mean our minds go down. We're still alert, right? But there's a way that we're in our being as we open to everyone else. Anyone else want to share anything? So I'll tell you a little story. It's a very short story. I was going to do some kind of talk practice thing at a program for Strozzi Institute, and I was taking a shower, and I was like, what do I want to say about this embodied relaxation stuff, spaciousness? And it came to me that there's a musician, a Bay Area musician actually, he's now in Bali, Michael Franti, and he tells a story that when he was with Woody Harrelson in his home, he was in his bathroom, and he was taking a shower, and he was supposed to come up with a hit song for his movie, and he couldn't. And he had many songs, they weren't hits, like at least not in the top 100. But that day, when he was showering, it came through to him. And that actually became a hit song. And what he did was, he wrote on the glass, in the steam, the words for the song, and then he took a picture. And for some of us, water creates some embodied relaxation, hot tubs or hot springs or oceans, or, Also, Richard, this is meta, micro, macro, meta. Richard Heckler shared with me that, and shared with many of us, that Albert Einstein came up with a theory of relativity when he was in a bath or a shower. So sometimes it takes some elements. We do sweat lodges, some of us do pujas with fire, and there's saunas. We have elements and things that help us to get embodied and relaxed. And then sometimes we don't have the luxury of doing that. Yeah. So whatever practice, I feel very humbled to be here. Most of you are very long-term meditators, and I don't claim, I've been meditating for on and off probably for 20 years, but I don't claim to be an expert there. But I do want to say that as you all know, we can shift our states into more spaciousness and more embodied relaxation. And so with that, I would actually like to do one short practice, and then we'll go into a couple more if that feels good to everybody. Okay, so you can just stay where you are in your seat, and from your mind, which is in our Western culture, we're usually in our mind, but we had a beautiful, meditation, so some of us may be more embodied already. But from your mind, I just want you to start to think about what's next for you. Whether it's what's next after this or what's next in your life. It could be a spectrum. But what's next from your mind? You're in point A and you want to get to point B. What is that? What is next for you there? How are you going to do it, or what is it? Just feel into that. Think into that, actually. First thoughts, best thoughts.
Always in my mind, it's always a to-do list. You can do this, you can do that, you can do that. And of course, you never dare put any of them because you're always in the next one. But it's
beautiful. So true for many of us, right? Even me. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, and you can share if you want, or you can just be with it. But that's lovely. Thank you.
Mine is to develop my life coaching practice.
Ah, nice. So from our minds, just notice, yeah. And now I'm going to ask you, if it's comfortable for you, you can stand up. But if it's not, you can just adjust your seat a little bit. You can go back in your seat for a moment and just feel more spacious. There's something more. Yeah, and if you can stand up, which I will do as well for now, but you don't have to. Take an inhale from the ground, the living being earth, to the living being stars in the cosmos. So inhaling with a spiral breath. And then reverse it down. Beautiful. And let's do it one more time and actually consciously feel into belly, heart, and head. So inhaling from the living earth through our living being. And then reverse, loud exhale. Beautiful. And if it feels okay for you, maybe you can put one hand on the heart center, one hand on the belly center. Taking another breath there. And you can sense into, maybe there's a furry one that you love, or a niece or a nephew or a child, or your own little one inside of you. Then taking another belly breath. And from there, what's next? What's next? What's next? Feel a little more of your whole body. Of course the mind is important, the brain, and then there's the belly, and then there's the heart, and then there's the legs and the feet, extremities, all of us, and our back bodies. Anybody want to share? Okay, otherwise just feel what's next from this point, from this place, this aliveness. And we can remove our hands. Wendy likes to do this with the oxytocin. Include the head. And then let's take one, if you're standing, you can take one step forward for a moment. If you're sitting, inch up on your chair. So let me show you that too. So if you're sitting back here, just inch up a little bit if it's okay on your chair. And then take a step, if you can, back. And it may even be that you're touching your chair, that's fine. And if you're in your chair, go to the back of the chair and feel more. There's something more. the spaciousness, our field. You could call it spirit. You could start to call in a claimed ancestor, a claimed transcestor, a claimed star that has your name on it, or a moon. And start to feel more about the cosmos and the spirit. And it could be a blood ancestor that comes. Somebody that comes that gives you that sense of spaciousness and more. Maybe there's a shooting comet that wants to tell you something. Could be someone in this realm, incarnated Buddhaji, anything that comes is valid. And from there, what's next? What's next for you there, from that space? And notice how you feel and where you feel it. What's next from there? Take your time, there's no rush, but when you're ready we can sit down and come back to each other. Not that we left. And maybe there's one or two people that want to share something about that, and it's okay if there's not. Anybody? Yeah.
So during the whole 30-minute meditation, my mind was come back, come back. And just doing this simple exercise, I just felt, oh, I'm home. You know, just this kind of feeling right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. If I was coaching, which I'm not today, I would say, what could be possible from that? But I'm not going to coach. You can feel into it, though. What could be possible in your life from doing that practice? Yeah. So this is one way to shape shift in different states of consciousness, just in 5 minutes. And you all know your ways. There's no one way better than the other. But when we do this intentionally with something that we're looking at, that we're longing for, or something that we're maybe confused about, it can bring more online, more perspective, more ease, more flow. So I'm going to do another practice, and then by request, the last one will be something that was requested. So from this practice, again, you can either sit or you can stand. And I'll show you to you both ways. So standing, it's a little bit like goddess pose in yoga, if you know that. It's called temple bowl. And so it would be our feet 10 and 2, and then we're going to bend down and we're going to hold the bowl. I was wondering about that. And why are we doing this? Because we want to get more into the lower half of our body. We want to feel the ground. And we want to feel our back bodies, the back of our legs, as we're holding something important to us. And you can hold your intention or anything that came from that last exercise. So this is the way to do it standing. And then sitting, you can do it like this, and it's just fine as well. You're gathering the temple bowl, your feet are out, you can just, whatever's comfortable for you. If just is comfortable, fine. This is comfortable. And then you're going to gather the temple bowl. So let's take a belly breath first, and then decide, do you want to stand? Do you want to sit? I will also stand. Okay, so 10 and 2 from our feet, and a little wider, and then we're gathering the bowl, and then we're going to sit down to your degree that feels comfortable. and start to notice, what do you feel? Potentially breathing. And then if you want to put something in the bowl that came from that last exercise, please do, so it can be held. And when you're ready, you just come right back up. And notice, what did that produce or not produce? And let's do it again. Beautiful. And when your body tells you it's time, come back up. We'll do it one more time. But first we feel. Okay, let's go for it when you're ready. Sitting or standing. Remembering our backs, the history through our bodies to the mystery, infinite possibility, next generations. And when you're ready, feel. Always feeling, but intentionally. Okay, now we're going to do what we call the two-step. And this is trying, the purpose of this is to be centered in change. But like many of us know, we're not always going to be centered. So how can we come back to center a little more quickly, especially in transitions? There's a lot of transitions going on constantly, but these days, of course, you know. And so it's called the two-step, and I will show it to you standing and sitting, and then you can take a breath and see which way you want to do it. And you're going to have to either move your chair a little bit or go over there if you do want to do it standing. So let me show you what it looks like. And before I do, I just want to share, which Jeff alluded to, Aikido, many of you might know, the way of the Do, it was, you know, so that you take care of your opponent as you take care of yourself in the martial arts. We're not doing it as a martial arts, you know, we're doing it as a somatic embodiment practice. And the opponent might be yourself. Right? That's the number one opponent in many of our dilemmas. So I just wanted to give you that background because this came from Aikido, but we're not using it like that. But we are using the principle of it. Okay, so I hope you can... Let me do it sitting first so that the camera can make sure and see me, and then I'll do it standing. So for sitting, what we're going to do is we're going to put one foot a little ahead of the other foot, and it's two-step transition. How can we come back to center in transition? So from our belly, we're going to turn this way and see, we're going this way, okay? Oh, COVID is finishing up. Oh, we're all good. Okay, great. Now I can go back to this. Oh, no. There's another strain. Oh, okay. Now we're going this way. And it's off-putting, it's off-centering, but how can we come back to our belly centers and come back to our bodies? So it looks like this. And then you let the arms kind of just hang. So that's how it looks sitting, and I can show you for those who want to sit a little slower. And then for standing, it's going to look like this. I don't know if you can see me, but basically you're going to have one foot forward. Let's say our left foot is forward. And I'm just going to move this out for a moment. Okay, so let's say our left foot is forward. Is that okay? And what we're going to do is we're going in one direction. Let's say, looks like, this relationship is going really well and I'm in it. Now I have to go this way. He's not what I thought he was. She's not what I thought. Oh no. So it's a two-step, but it's actually three steps. So I'm going to slow it down, both now here and then I'll show you again on the chair. But it's enter, turn. Enter, the back foot takes a step and you turn. So let's try, we'll take a moment and just take a breath and see which way do you want to do it. And then we'll slow it down and try it together. And then we'll decide if we want to go a little faster. So yeah, you could go over here You can move your chairs, move the cushions. I'm not sure who at home. Hopefully you have room.
That's the tea thing.
Oh yeah, no worries. I just want to see how many people are sitting versus standing, just to get an idea. So how much I want to demo. Okay, so let me demo it standing first, slowly now. So let's all put, whoever's standing, put your left foot forward. Whoever's sitting, which I will demo in a minute, but you can do it with us, put your left foot ahead of your right foot. And when we go in and turn, you're just going to turn, and then you're going to shift to the right, the next foot. But I'll demo that in a moment. Okay, so left foot is forward. Let's all just enter with our left foot, just a little slide, a little shuffle, yeah. And then take the back foot, step, and then take the other foot back. Nice. That's not easy. I mean, it's a little complicated if you've never done it. Okay, so let's try it again. Enter, step, step. Enter, step, step. Nice. Okay, and now let's feel the ground as we're moving and feel our belly. So you can even put a hand on your belly center for a moment and behind. Our belly center's in the middle. And we enter, step, step. Enter, step, step. So you're going in one direction. Enter, step, step. Oh, something new has happened. Two-step. So let's do it. Two-step. 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 And you can slow it down. And then let's let go of our hands and let them just go freely. Two-step. Two-step. Nice. And now, think of the place where you're going. Keep going, but where you have to switch directions and just think of it, but then feel it from your body, just like we did with that 1, 2, 3 space. Can you go into 2 space with the 3-step? It's advanced stuff right away. Huh? Can you go into 3 space? Can you have the spirit around you as you're trying to 2-step? Even learning it. Can you embody relaxation as you're learning? You're not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be awkward because you're just learning, right? And I'm going to keep 2-stepping for another moment. Feel the space moving you, breathing you. And I'm going to just show it on the chair. And when you need to, you can take a pause. And then let's all take a pause. Let's all take a pause and come back together and feel and see what came out of that for you. Any questions, clarifications, or shares from Temple Bowl and 2-step?
Well, I was definitely reminded of what you pointed out. It's awkward. You know, anytime the energy rises, I find when I start to drop down more, I feel a little uncertain. And but it's only one part of it. And to stay with the rising is the challenge.
Yeah, beautiful. It's like when we're meditating, I love what you pointed out, like, you know, we're, what do I have to do? And then, okay, come back. What's here now? What's here now? Oh, what, you know, like we've heard it all, the metaphors of leaves on the stream, the clouds in the sky. But what if we were with the stream? What if we were with the sky? So that's kind of like putting 2 and 3 space, especially 3 space, into whatever we want to do, whether it's a 2-step or whether it's a new project or a new relationship or a new mortgage or a new rent or whatever it is, yeah? It is awkward in Western culture, to your point. We don't allow awkwardness. You know, we're supposed to have it right, especially depending on our social location. You know, a lot of white males, oh my God, you can't mess up. Right? Oh my God, you're supposed to be just perfect and everyone's going to follow your lead. Well, we know that's where that has gotten us. So it's nice that I'm very, very, very honored to be here and mixing it up a bit. Huh?
One thing that keeps coming up for me is connecting to the breath right away, and then all the movement, connecting to the earth, and like, I keep hearing connection, connection with breath, earth, and then connection with each other. And all of us doing this together, the people at home doing it, and like whatever task I have ahead of me, to remember to connect to the breath and the present and the people around me, phone calls, meetings, like trying to connect.
Yeah, it feels right on. Yeah, because the one space is from here, the two spaces from here, and it's also relational, actually, very much relational, because we're in our aliveness, we feel the other aliveness, and then the bigger space is we're being connected, we're being breathed, we're already connected. There's almost nothing to do yet. But thank you, that's beautiful. I'm not going to, I have a very strong urge to coach, but I won't, because that's not what I need. Anyone else want to ask anything? Yeah.
Well, I found the temple bowl very powerful. I'm dealing with some relationship issues, and it's a whole new way of sort of encountering it. Mm-hmm. But the standing and moving it was all in my head the whole time, trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be putting my feet. It was hard to adapt to that.
Yeah. That's great insight, and we're actually going to try it one more time, but I just want to check, is there anyone else that has questions or want to share before we try it one more time, but this time a little differently?
If there's someone online, just unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you for that wonderful out of our heads sort of experience. I'm in Southeast Arizona, and my next week is going to be rather than moving a bowl, it's going to be moving lots of boxes, because I'm moving back to my hometown of Portland, Oregon from Southeast Arizona. And it's been very stressful, and as you can imagine, moving, and also moving to within an hour's distance of a new relationship. So I've got lots of boxes in the air at once, and this has really helped me, because I'm going to start being very conscious of the moment and my movements as I turn, as I carry boxes up and down stairs and all of that. So I'm going to try and bring this last hour with me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that share. Oh, moving, right? That's one of the top 5 things that's stressful. And a relationship, and you're going to be in proximity, and all of it. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. But
So let's try it one more time before we do our last practice. Let's try it one more time with 2-step. But this time, because we're just learning something, and I apologize, I didn't get everybody's name, but Tim said so beautifully that he was in his head. And you know what? We need to be in that one space, right? We need that high one space to figure things out, to actually learn. And that's very important when we're first starting. But then to drop into, because the high one can also go into the anxiety, right? Or the repetitive, like, oh my God, da-da-da-da-da. So then it's nice to drop into more of our heart and our belly and our whole body aliveness. And then that 3 space of, it's being done for us. It's being done to us in a graceful, consent way. The universe is doing us, right? Okay, so let's try again. I will stand first, and then I will sit again. So let's all try it together if you're willing, even online. Whether you're sitting or standing, put your left foot forward. And then right away, which I didn't show you today, but what we do is we center. So let's try that. Length, remember we did that inhale upright, and then we did the reverse. And then width, like so beautifully you spoke about, feeling our relational field, that we're in it together, online, in person, our width, and also our boundaries. You know, where do we want to create boundaries? Even if we're more closer in proximity, we still want to keep our boundaries. So that's our width, that's the second dimension. And our third dimension is our depth. You know, where we came from, our history, so much depth of history among all of you, among San Francisco, AIDS, I mean, everything. You know, all the amazing things that happened here, amazing and tragic, like Harvey Milk. So all that comes with us. And then we're here in the moment, and then there's infinite possibility ahead of us. So let's do that. Length, just feel your length, the vertical, feel the width. You can even put your hands out if that helps, and your depth. Yeah. So there's length, width, depth. And then we talk about an organizing principle, but something you're longing for, something that you want to be on purpose. Okay. And here we go. We're going to step, turn, face a new direction. And I'll just say two-step and we'll do it. Two-step. Two-step. See if you can let the movement take you. Two-step. Two-step. Beautiful. Two-step. And hold for a moment and feel it. Are you in your length? Are you in your width? Are you in your depth? Length, width, depth. Notice your breath. You bring it to the belly. And then imagine the universe breathing you. Let's see if we can do two-step from three space. So maybe there's that star or that ancestor with you. Two-step. Two-step. And then at this pace, two-step. Two-step. Now can we do it from two-space as we're moving, centering in action? Our whole body, our belly, our heart, the little ones in us. Each of us have little ones. Can we move from there? What does that look like? And hold. And then you come back.
You said, just to clarify,
Yeah.
free space or free space?
Oh, three.
Three.
Remember the first practice we did, Jeff, was from our head, one
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
from our whole body, two space, and then from the sort of this field, right? The spirit. I say spirit here with all of you, but sometimes I don't use those words. So I have to have all the different words. God is God, love, nature, spirit, space. But whatever works for you, whether it's scientific or a higher power, just imagine that the science is moving us. You know, there are atoms. It's not empty, even though it feels like that to us. And we're not so solid. We're more spacious and more liquid. So, yeah. So be moved by some of that spaciousness, yeah? That embodied relaxation. Anyone else want to share or clarify anything before we move on?
I really love the fluidity of it. You know, your first example, when you were introducing it, it's like, you know, so often I'm like, I'm going there, you know, and then something comes up, and it's like, okay, you can do it instead of like getting stuck by the rock, you just twirl.
I love that. And when you said that, I got the image of those rocks and then the water changes, right? Very fluid.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really good point. Tell me your name again.
Jim.
Jim, that's a really good point you're making, that we are intentionally practicing, and to the person online who's moving, we're intentionally practicing what is it like to change direction. Because when we intentionally practice, it starts to become embodied, that when it happens, we don't get so discombobulated or so off-center, or we come back quicker. So thank you, that's a good point. Yeah.
Thank you for pointing out that how human that is, and probably universal, because I don't like changing directions, and it's always challenging for me, but it isn't just me.
Oh, it isn't just you. Thank you.
Like most things, it isn't just me. Yes.
Yeah, and it's amazing when I think of three space, sometimes I think, well, we're always turning, right? The earth is turning, the moon is turning, the sun is turning, the galaxy's turning. So it's a natural thing, but in our human beings with our prefrontal cortex, we forget, right? We go, boom, things were okay, things were stable, I finally managed everything. It's me, just saying. Especially when, some of us who have different traumas, and I imagine a lot of us here have different, most humans, we have trauma. But especially when we've been different or other, it's not easy. So either we overcompensate over accountability or trying to fit in, or we pendulate like, I'm going to do me. Well, guess what? We're all connected, to your point. And I love your name, but I forget it too.
Grisha.
Yeah, Grisha. We're all connected. And there's a way that we can feel that we're all connected and intentionally feel connected as we're two-stepping, but there's also a way that we go into three space and we're already connected. There's nothing to do. So it's more of a dance than a chess game.
It's very concrete, is what you're saying.
Yeah, in a way. Practice at Strozzi Institute, we have a beautiful saying that we are what we practice. We're always practicing something. Is what we're practicing aligned with what we deeply care about, or our vision, or our values? And it's been researched that the neuroscience, and they did this with athletes, that 300 times you do something, you will get it in your body. You will be able to do it 300 times if you practice. But 3,000 times to get the same practice under pressure. So if I am moving, or if something changes and I didn't expect it, or maybe I kind of expected it, I'm not going to be able to do that unless I've done it 3,000 times when I'm not stressed. So that's why we do it intentionally. We are going to go enter. We call this an enter. So we don't just turn around and turn around. We actually enter. Enter. I'm going in this direction. Oh, no. Change. Going in this direction. Oh, no. Change. And then you let your arms free. And it's a dance. When I said, I don't know if you all noticed, but when I said, let's go from our hearts and our bodies, our two-space, our little ones, I felt like skipping. I was like, I can do that too. Why not? But as long as we have the form, we have freedom. So there's practical, but then there's freedom within the form. And that's my main thing. I'm all about liberation in whatever forms. Yeah. Anybody want to say anything else? We'll move on to one more practice. I think we have time for a short one. So today's theme, I wanted to talk about embodied relaxation, but a lot of the practices that I'm giving you, they're building on each other, but a lot of them are about getting into the whole body. Moving from here, especially under stress, to get into the whole body. So here is another one that I really like. It's similar to the two-step in some ways, and then in other ways not. And it's called rowing. And again, this is easier for me to convey, especially online, for the people online. It's another way to center in transition. So let me show it to you. I'll show it to you standing and sitting, and then you can choose, and then we'll do it together. So the way it works, again, we usually put one foot forward. I'll use my left foot just for ease. Let me move back a little, I think. Okay, see me. Hopefully you all can see me. So my left foot is forward, and what we do is we move our center in, we move our center out. We fill in the front leg, we fill in the back leg. And we pick up oars. So we're rowing. We're rowing in whatever, the river or the ocean. And then, I always think of you now, then we're rowing with each other. And then at some point I will say, and change, and then we'll change feet. And what happens in transition? Do we get all discombobulated? Especially if we're learning a new form? I know I do. So we're rowing, and I'll slow it all down, but we're rowing. I just want to show you what it looks like. I fill the first leg, fill the back leg. Fill the front leg, fill the back leg. And change. And then at some point we will change every time because change is so constant, isn't it? So here we are, and then we'll go change, change. And then we'll notice, oh, am I getting ahead of myself? Or am I leaving myself behind? I'm exaggerating, of course. So then let's inhale, upright, dignified posture, and change on purpose. So you all willing? I just a lot. We've done already 3 practices, but are you all willing to give it a try? And let me show it to you on sitting, because you can just do it sitting too, which is perfectly fine. And you get really good benefits from this sitting. So it's similar to the 2-step where one foot would be ahead, and you move from the belly, so you can even start with your hand on your belly like we did, and then you go. And then we pick up the oars. I'm just showing you, but we're going to start together, but you can try it if you want. This is changing every time just to show you what it looks like. But in the beginning we'll just do one side. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so let's pause. And let's start together. You can sort of feel into it. Should I stand or should I sit? And I think I will stand. Now I'm going to make more room here because I'm not going to sit, so you can kind of see more of my leg. I'm very colorful for Diwali today. So my left foot is forward, my right foot is at an angle. It looks like this for the people at home or wherever you are at. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill the first leg and empty. Fill the first leg and breathe and empty. You can put one hand on your belly, front, and if it's comfortable on the back. I'm breathing a little extra on purpose so you can hear me. And let's pick up the oars. It's almost like a standing, this started in Japan, standing boat. So you're standing on a boat. Yeah, you are all doing it so beautifully behind me. I see you. We can slow it down a little bit too. There's no rush. The flow, the river's going to take us. We're just using the oars to guide a little bit, direction and purpose, right? So here we are. I'm just making this up, so please don't take it out of context, but I'm using a little bit of what one of you shared online. So here we are, mysterious, exciting new relationship, but we're at a distance, so it's such amazing. We see each other, and here we're going. I'm going to say, and change, and we're going to switch feet in a moment. Sorry, I should have told you that. In a moment. I'll go and change, and then we'll change. And change. Change. If you're sitting, change. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, we want to take this to the next level, but now I have to move, and I'm an hour away. Hope it's okay. I'm not trying to name any names here. But I've been there. I moved from Los Angeles to Connecticut, and then to La Jolla, and then to San Francisco. Woo! I'm actually in Marin now, but I love the Bay. So here we're going. Notice, are we moving from our belly? Are we feeling our feet on the ground? Where are we growing to? Maybe we want loving relationship. Maybe we want purpose. Maybe we want new career. Whatever came from some of that temple bowl and 1, 2, 3 space, maybe put it ahead of you. Who's rowing with you? Who's in the river with you? We're all together here. What are the communities? What are the people? Breathing, feeling your feet and your back, that body, your history. Okay, now I'm going to say and change, and we'll switch again. And change. Actually, get that a little off myself. Can you feel the back of your feet? Can you feel the back of your heart? Can you feel the cave of your heart? What are you longing for? Okay, and in a moment, not yet, in a moment, I'm going to say and change, and then we're going to switch feet every time. And just notice, that's a big transition. What happens in transition?
here.
Yeah. And change. And change. And you're learning something new again, so this might be weird, but it doesn't matter. The key is you're intentionally changing. You're practicing changing, yeah? And let's hold for a moment and feel whatever that produced in you. Let's try it one more time. So let's start with the right foot this time, if you're willing, if you can. And so my right foot is forward, and if you're sitting, same thing, the right foot. And we can either start here. Nice. Quick studies here. Bending the first, bending the back. Filling, it's almost like sandbags. Wendy would say, my teacher, Wendy Palmer, she would say, fill the front foot, release, fill the back foot. Front foot, back foot. Good, this is beautiful. Okay, and then let's take the oars. And change. Wow. So now it feels like the space is moving us a little more. We're a little more in 2 and 3 space versus the 1 just learning, yeah? I don't know if you can feel that. I can feel it. Hope you at home can feel it. Okay, and then we're going to change every time. And change. I'm going back instead of moving forward, but you won't get the idea. It's in space. So just feel where you headed towards and let the river take you. Let the ocean take you. Rowing from 3 space. What would that be like? Rowing from the ancestors declaring for you, the claimed ones, the blood ones that you feel supported by. Checking in with length, width, and depth. Beautiful. And let's hold and feel whether you're sitting or standing. You didn't know you were going to get a little workout. Okay, let's sit down. So we just have a couple of minutes to check in if anybody wants to share before we move to the dedication of merit.
Well, we'll have announcements first. Before we do that, we'll have announcements.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so just a minute. Does anybody want to share anything? From that? Okay, so we started with the 1, 2, 3 space, and then we did the temple bowl, and then we did the 2-step, and then we did the rowing. That's a lot, because I didn't know when I'd be back or what. But I can give you after this is over if you need resources, like where to go to get more. There's videos online, things like that. If you were digging any of those. Anybody at home or online want to share anything, or ask any question?
Well, it does help. I mean, you can your body tingles, so it's kind of like coming alive by just moving.
Beautiful, yeah, and we're intentionally moving, right? Beautiful, yeah. I feel vibration too. So you feel some tingling all over. Is that yeah? Nice. Same.
It's like dancing together also. So dancing is always nice.
Yeah, I think so too. I love to dance. I will say that all the indigenous peoples of all the places, the Maoris, the Aborigines, the Africans, the Indians, the South Asians, the Pakistani, all the people, we're all in all your homelands, the Europeans, resilience is a collective thing. I always come back to what he was saying, it's a collective thing. It's not done in isolation. We're relational beings. And so when we're in a space where we're all similar intention, or at least we have our own intentions, but we're in it together, to be together and to move, it's very powerful. It's a lot of resilience there. Yeah. somebody had something, otherwise we can move on. Yeah.
Some mornings where it's just so hard to meditate, and this is sort of an alternative in some sense. If I can't get into meditation after the morning, I'll get up and move.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great practice that you already do, and now you can see intentionally, am I moving and changing, or am I moving from center, or am I moving length, width, depth, or 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have a website where we could get more information?
I do, but it's 10 years old. My son says, sucky suck. It sucks. My daughter too. But please, you can get information from my website. It's Anjali Sawhney, lifecoach.com.
Okay.
Something like that.
Great. Thank you.
My name, you'll find me. I'm on Facebook and all the things.
And will that direct us to online places where we can get it?
No, you'd have to probably contact me, or you have to put in Strozzi Institute. You can get a lot of information. They have a lot of videos, YouTube, and then they have their website. Or Leadership Embodiment. That's Wendy Palmer's thing.
Okay.
But if you contact me, I'll lead you there too. Yeah. You can find me under my name. You'll find my number, and you can text me. I'm really good with text. Not so good with email and phone.
Okay, announcements. Does anyone have an announcement? We have a host today.
I'm the host today, so please stay and enjoy the company of the Sangha. There are refreshments and hot water for tea. And that is basically cinnamon coffee cake. So if you use a cup, you can just leave it in the sink. And I'll be going around with the Donna Bowl to accept contributions to cover our expenses. Your generosity is appreciated. Donations in the range of $10 to $20 help the Sangha meet the expenses. These include honorarium for our Dharma speakers, rent for this beautiful center, and hopefully in the future, monthly dinners that we do for Wharton Street Youth Services, our quarterly newsletter mailed mostly to people in prison. There's a newcomer's sign-up sheet on the credenza. If you wish to be included and receive our Sangha membership directory, please sign up and include contact information you wish to share with the group. Some members go out for lunch after the meeting. Everyone is welcome to join them. The group meets at the front door around 12:30 p.m.
Thank you, Stephanie. I have a couple of announcements. One is I really want to invite everyone to come, if you're local or not, even if you're in town, to join us again in person, in body, and enjoy the incredible meditations and quiet together. And we have tea and snacks afterwards and Sangha. So that's very nice. And the other is that we still have a volunteer opportunity for someone who's interested in becoming one of our Zoom Hildas, operating the Zoom when our particular facilitators aren't able to. So contact Grisha or me, and it takes about an hour if you do it, right? Plus there's a training video and will help. So with that, let's have our dedication to merit.
Okay, this might be a little non-traditional, but I'm going to say a poem, and a short poem. It's by Mamta Sagar from South Asia. Oh, and you'll see why. So it's a river poem, and it kind of our flow of our rowing. Inside the river are the sky, the cloud, and the sun. In my hand's bowl is the river. If I throw up my hands, the river spills and drops, scattering sky, cloud, and sun all over me. From my hand's bowl, if I drink the river, then within me the sun, the cloud, the sky. Tell me, who is in who? So how can we not take the ripples of whatever came here and continue the ripples out to all living beings, to our living planet, and to all those who are here, both well and suffering, but especially those who are suffering. May they have some more moments of joy and peace in their beings.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.